Alright, Mr. Simple Biz Guy, let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning into the Simple Biz 360 podcast today and over the last 5 years. We really appreciate it. My name is Jeff Mason. I've been your host. I'm your host today, and we're very excited you're here. We're on YouTube, IGTV, Rumble TV. We're on 28 audio platforms, and you can find all of our episodes, so whether it's visual or audio, on SimpleBiz360.com. You can buy our book right through there. It takes you straight to Amazon. It's really, we wrote the book 5 years ago. We did the podcast to kind of augment the book as well. And we're just really excited about the direction we're taking. Episode 261, we're going to start a new direction where it's a pod burst. I don't know what else to call it. It's a minute long, and we're only focusing on one question per pod burst. We're going to do a couple questions a week, and it's really designed to get the audience to think about the question as it relates to their business, their customers, their success, their long-term health of their company, and in many cases, sometimes life as well. So, it's really just designed to get us to think. We really, as a society, as we continue to click and drag so many behaviors from society into the workplace, one of them is just, we're really not thinking about things as much as we used to. They're not even offering critical thinking classes in colleges and, high school levels anymore, getting you ready for college. We're not, we're being taught to just, watch channel 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 11, and, they'll tell you how to think. And, we're just programmed to, just turn on the boob tube and whatever it says, we follow what it says, right? And we're just like, in many cases, led by a very powerful and suggestive, mainstream information flow. And the same with many influencers on social media as well. So, it's really cool to be able to just sometimes stop and think. We've articulated this over time, just how great it is to, go away to a cabin, go away someplace, turn technology off, and think about your business. Think about life, but think about your business and really what can you do to improve it. Think about the situations you've been through, the experiences your customers have been through with you. And there's so much to learn out of that exercise. I've done it. I can tell you, I know other people that have, and it's just a really healthy way to, examine and get to know your business very, very, on a firsthand basis, if you will. It's not on paper, it's not in numbers. It's really what you're doing in the business. I'll never forget a quote by Harold Janine. I read one of his books called Managing back in the 90s. And he said something to the effect that, if you want to know what the numbers are, don't just look at those numbers, but you've got to look at those numbers and understand they are a reflection of how you're running the business. So if you want to change those numbers at the end of the profit and loss statement, at the end of the year, then you have to change the way you're doing business. And we argue that change is incorporated in what we call the experience economy. We've not come up with that phrase. Two other authors in 1999 did, but that's the world we live in here at Simple Biz 360 podcast and the book is we're looking at the experience. So today, I just really, I don't get too much more time with the audience to share some things like today's content. But today I've entitled the show Maximizing the Life-Work Blend. And, we did a show a couple of years ago. It was actually fairly well received. And it was, live to work or work to live. And, what do you do? And there's this healthy balance that we can create in our own professional work sphere where, can we invite more of an attitude that we just work to live. We don't live to work. And if we can work to live and we can understand how to enrich our lives and make our lives more of a quality life, then my argument is, and I've seen it in my own life, it spills back into the work. It spills back into the professional arena. And what you do on the job, how you are, how you treat customers, how you treat employees, teammates, associate bosses, it creates a better quality of interaction, better experiences for coworkers, for, bosses, for customers. And in life, there's just, there's so much that we can do in life to help ourselves become better, more healthy. And that's really kind of what I want to, look at today. I mean, there's a lot of well-traveled roads out there that people have, commented on what they do and how they, eat, how they sleep, how they exercise, what they do in that life part of their world, and that it just makes the work part of their world that much more enjoyable. And if you're enjoying work, if you're an enjoyable, happier person at work, it's going to spill out to your teammates, associates, bosses, and customers. It just is. So here's my picks after 40 years, of being in business now, and 35 years really looking at writing this book and doing this and putting this, being involved in this podcast. I'd have to say, see health as a lifestyle. And if you can really look at health as a lifestyle, you can change it in very, magnanimous ways and really impactful ways. So, let consistency be the lead. So if you're going to adopt a healthier lifestyle, well, just, the consistency of that adoption of that healthier lifestyle is really going to be the key. You can't just do it for 6 weeks and run and do something else. You're going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose those benefits that you're now delivering to your own body if you're not consistent with this. So pursue that long-term incremental approach. You don't have to start tomorrow by running, 10Ks. 5Ks. You don't have to. You don't have to start tomorrow doing 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups. You don't have to start tomorrow, dieting like crazy. Just make the lifestyle change and make sure it's a long-term consistent one, and do it incrementally, small little bite-sized chunks. Just take it one day at a time. I'll never forget a cab driver. I was able to ride in his cab. And we were talking about marathon running. I was a marathon runner at that point, and he had just finished his first marathon. I said, wow, so cool. Let's talk about the training regimen. How did you do it? He said, mine was easy. I just started walking. I walked for 1 minute further the next day than I did today. And I kept biting off additional 1 minutes. And then I started to run that instead of walk it. And I just increased my running time 1 minute a day until I got my endurance levels up. And I could, I realized I could actually handle running a marathon. And that's how he did it. So, amazing, right? So exercise regularly. Stretch regularly is another thing I say. I've been exercising. I stopped playing college soccer 44 years ago. And I started running. I lived on the beach in New Jersey. I started running on the beach, and it became contagious for me because I love the endorphins, kicking in after a good workout. I mean, back then I really did. That part of a good soccer game or a good workout really, really jazzed me up. And so, running 5 miles, 7 miles, it was a great way to get those endorphins kicking in and enjoying the beach. I couldn't tell you, I think probably to this day, 150 sunrises on the beach. I was able to capture with my own eyes and be there when the sun came up over the water horizon at least 150 times. Out of the 5 years I lived on this one particular beach, Brigantine Beach. So I would just say, and I've been going for 44 years running. You think I've shared with you guys, I've stopped, literally stopped running now. I'm walking, run a little bit, but I got up to 36,000 career miles and my knees started telling me, which is another thing, let your body talk to you a little bit, if you hear it talking to you, barking at you, listen. And in my case, my knees said, you know what, dude, man, I'll still get out here and carry you along, but let's do less pounding and let's just walk more. How about that? We can walk swiftly. We can get a good workout in, but let's just walk. So, that's kind of where I am today. Doing more of that, but I do it regularly. I stretch way more. I started stretching at age 60 and I do way more of it than I ever did as a youngster. I wish I'd done it in my youth because I'd be a little more nimble, be a little more, have a little bit more agility, I think, at my age now, 65. But again, I'm sharing all this, I'm pouring this out to you. And if you're sitting there at 22 years old, listening, 18 years old, 25, 35, man, life goes by so fast. I cannot believe I've run around the world 1.5 times. I can't believe I've run from New York to LA and back again 6.5 times. I can't believe I've done that. But I've done it, and it's gone. It's behind me. It's my rearview mirror. It's crazy. It just goes so fast, and to enjoy that time in the middle of that long span, to enjoy it in a more quality way, I can tell you, it's been very, very rewarding, and I've been able to be, I think, a better guy at work. For the most cases, I could get a little riled up and get a little upset here and there, but for the most part, I've really enjoyed working with people and enjoyed work. So, drink 8 glasses of water a day. You've heard it. It's not me, but you know what? You got to it's just like lubricating, changing the oil in a car, man. I think. Right? When you think about your body, you've got to lube the body up. You got to make sure, because our body's made up of so much water, you've got to feed the brain moisture. You got to feed, your body moisture. You've got to let your sweat glands have something to work with, right? And, the more you can to do that 8 glasses a day on a regular basis, again, consistency, man, it's just so much better, right? Research health. Don't Google it, because Google is part of this machine now that's, kind of scraping things from the internet. And, hey, big pharma and the medical institutions honestly don't want us being that healthy. They make money off us being sick. And you can, there's tons of podcasts out there you can listen to on that. It's not just coming from me, but I can tell you over the years, I've come to acquire enough knowledge to say, you know what? Yeah, I want to learn more about being healthy from people. What are friends listening to? Who are they turning to? I don't want to keep turning to doctors. I don't want to keep looking to the medical community and taking medicine, because this is meant to just keep me on this, wheel, and I'm just on this wheel and I can never get off. And Big Pharma would love me there, and I'm not going to go there anymore with them. So, just research your own way on how you can be healthy. Stay away from medicines the most you can. Try to be, off. I take one medication. I take it for gout, and that's all I take at this point. It shocks doctors at age 65 that I do only take one medicine. That may change. I don't know. But you know what? Right now, I'm just finding other ways to combat, and be a better, healthy person. So, and avoid diet shortcuts. My wife and I have recently just made some food changes. We've gone through a class and really understood that food is really medicine in many cases. And if we really want to change our bodies, lower inflammation levels in our bodies, which most problems, as you get older, come about due to inflammation. And when you really examine the foods that we're eating, we are literally almost, you could argue, being poisoned by the foods that we eat. And that's causing this inflammation. That's causing us to go to the doctors to ask, how can we, find relief from this, that, or the other thing? And we're eating our way into these unhealthy dispositions. And so one of the things we did, and I just recently did this, is anything you can open in a package, I just don't eat. I don't eat anything you can open in a package. So, and if you look at the, ingredients on those packaged goods, chips, whatever, you name it, anything that comes out of those bags, it's just, it's laced with crap. And what's funny? You buy the same bag in Europe, and I've watched people on podcasts do this. You compare the ingredients of the European version of that product compared to the American version. We've got like 17, 15, 12 more ingredients in America. Why? Why can't we have what Europe has and just have healthier ingredients? So again, there's so many ways to do this, right? There's so many ways to knock out vegetable oil, canola oil, sunflower seed oil, switch it over to avocado oil, use, extra virgin olive oil. Make sure you don't heat it and cook it over 325 degrees, but use it in a cooler, and it's super healthy if you don't heat it up because it becomes rancid if you heat it over 325. So switch your oils so that you're cooking and using coconut oils, avocado oils, and, extra virgin olive oil, first pressed, I believe is what they call it. So, just look at ways to do that, to just change the intake of what you're doing. Go, try to find as much organic as you can. I know it's expensive, but the things that are sprayed on the food is just crazy. We have no idea what it really is doing to us, but I guarantee it's not healthy. And many people have done scientific studies. And so again, go out there and listen to their podcasts. Search them out, but search them out through friends and family. Don't go to Google anymore because they're just going to scrape all the beneficial stuff that you're going to want to see. Seriously. So, you want to do this on your own and make sure that you get some good information. And, again, before you start anything, don't take all this from me and just run out tomorrow and say, hey, this guy Mason said I should do all these things. Check with your doctor, making wholesale changes. If you're on medications, you got a lot of, issues, you want to make sure that when you make a lifestyle change, that you do it gradually, you do it incrementally and in ways that, you're not going to disrupt any kind of level of health you've gotten from medicine or doctors. So, make sure you just cover it with them. And I think for the most part, most doctors will say, hey, listen, preventative medicine is the best thing to do. And changing food and intake is certainly probably the easiest way to do it. But life is short. So we just say, don't live to work, work to live. Just to be able to finance life, pursue a quality of life. Pursue your creator. Our creator is out there knocking on everyone's door. God would love to be part of your life. If he's not, Jesus paid a debt that none of us could pay. And, through Jesus, I know it changed my life and it can change many of yours as well. I know that, you can really enjoy something that you've never had before, maybe peace, rest, just a easiness that's, this peacefulness that surpasses any understanding. You can't really even explain it. So it's out there. God's there. He's wanting you to come and know him as well. So guys, I just hope that you enjoy this podcast as we wind down, and I'm just sharing my heart with you. Exercise, keep that ticker going. It's all about keeping that ticker healthy, keeping your heart healthy, feeding your body the right things, because it's, what goes in is going to come out. And so it's the quality of things you put into that body, the quality of things you do to that body is going to be the result of how you spend every day, how you create experiences for your families, your friends, and it's going to give you a better quality of life for sure. So we are going to leave you with a tune today, Chris Tomlin, 2016. It's the acoustic version, Good, Good Father. It's just really a heartwarming song. Let it marinate your heart, because it can, and just let it sink in. Close your eyes and listen to the words, listen to the beautiful vocals of Chris Tomlin. And hey, God doesn't need you to get all spruced up, dolled up, gussied up. He wants you just as you are, and he will come to be with you if you just accept Jesus and you just say, God, I lay all this sin at your footsteps, and I don't want it anymore. I want to change. I want to do life with Jesus. And hopefully the song can allow you to make that simple declaration, but it's a profound one, and it changes life and changes the way you live from here on out. And we hope you enjoy the song. We hope you stick with us for the next episode, and we will see you in 168 hours.